We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. And it is Monday. Yes, Monday, September 30th. And here is your latest episode of the Martial Heart Podcast. It's just me checking in to say hello and keep everybody updated on what's going on. I came back from cardiac rehab a little while ago. Had a fairly good night. Did a lot of talking. It was like one of my follow-up days. So I guess I don't even know how long I've been doing this now, but it's on the calendar that this is one of the days that they follow up with me about stuff, about goals and, expectations and things. So we did that and, voiced more frustrations, of course, things that, the rehab people have nothing to do with. But I did just talk to them about, the heart rate thing. And today my heart rate was at 111, 114 at different times. So it was, a little bit higher than it had been. So on the treadmill, though, it's just really, they're going to have to really crank it up. So I did 15 minutes on the treadmill, 15 minutes on the hand bike doing this. And a goofy looking thing. But I guess my heart rate got up to like 111, 112 doing that. So not bad, but at least I was working a different part of my body than working just my legs on the treadmill and the bike type stuff. They do want me to start doing actual, resistance exercises where I need to, start lifting a little bit of weight again, maybe doing some push-ups and, body weight squats and stuff at first and doing some light dumbbell stuff. But still monitoring my heart rate. I'm supposed to be doing like 30 minutes of cardio every day. So I do a lot of walking at work, so I kind of count that. But she did ask if I was still doing my 30 minutes every day when I was at home, which I walk for longer than that every single day, no matter what. So I think I'm okay on the walking thing, but I haven't felt like going back and working out, even though I've talked about it a lot lately. I did it a couple of times, but with the blood pressure medicine issue, I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't have the ability really to do it, and my blood pressure was way up, which makes you feel, really bad anyway. And it just wasn't something that I was going to do, go down and work out. But the new medicine is working. It's brought things down a little bit into more normal ranges. It's not way down. It's the other medicine worked better, but I think the other medicine does more. When I was reading the specs on these two medications, the differences are the one I'm on now doesn't necessarily affect your heart rate, just your blood pressure. The other one controls your blood pressure and reduces your heart rate. So it gives you a lower resting heart rate and a lower exercise heart rate. And the other one doesn't affect that so much. It just does the blood pressure itself. So when I get this heart monitor, which still hasn't shown up yet, this medicine, I guess, will be better because it'll give me a more accurate view of what my heart's doing. At least that's what we're assuming. But the other medicine worked better as far as regulating the blood pressure and keeping my heart rate down. It seemed to be way more effective. The same number of milligrams. Right now they're having me do 12.5 milligrams a day. So the other one with 12.5 seemed to do a much better job. But it's a different type of medication. It's called Acerb or something. I don't know. I have a sheet. But anyway, it's not a beta blocker. It's a different type of medication. So it doesn't affect you the same way. And we're assuming that they put me on this one because they don't want to affect my heart rate because I have the heart monitor thing that's coming. Maybe this week, I guess. We're hoping it does. But nobody knows for sure. It's still just a mystery. The mystery heart rate, heart monitor thing, whatever they're called. I don't know. So I had that going on, and kind of a light day at work. Didn't do a whole lot. There wasn't a lot going on. Did a few little things, and not anything physically taxing. Excuse me while I squirt a cat. He wants to come and podcast, but he can't because he's a cat. So anyway, yeah, not a whole lot today. So other than driving to and from work and to and from a couple of job sites, not a lot to it. We did, do some vehicle stuff where we installed some shelving units in one of the guys' vans, which was kind of cool. We had to improvise, so it was fun figuring out how we were going to do that because they weren't designed for this van, so we were having to kind of fabricate a way of mounting these units inside the van. So I got to do that. It kind of reminded me of my days in the Seabees when, you just had to figure it out. They would just tell you, we want you to do this. And that was the only guidance you got, so you had to figure it out. And if it could be done, the Seabees would figure it out and make it happen. So you just couldn't leave anything laying around while the Seabees were around, because if they needed it, it became theirs. It would become Navy property. And by the time you figured it out, it would be painted gray and have a Navy NSN number stenciled on the side of it. And that's a true story that I'll tell somebody someday. Not mine, but someone else told me. But, it's not heart-related. It's just military-related. It's the Seabees. Yeah, read up about them. Seabees, they're great. It's one of my favorite times in the military was the time that I spent with the Seabees. So I guess I'm doing okay. I have the follow-up appointment next week with my regular physician, and I'm sure he and I will be able to talk a lot more in depth about what's happening because, he's known me for a lot of years, and he's treated the people in my family for, a couple of decades at least. So, he's a good guy, and I'm sure he'll be there to answer my questions when we have our follow-up, but it's really just my annual wellness visit. But we all know what my wellness is like currently, including him. So I'm sure all we're going to talk about is the health of my heart and the rest of me and how we, keep it all in the green for now. Other than that, it's more eBay stuff. Busy on eBay, buying and selling stuff. A lot of stuff I don't need, but a lot of things. I have things now. I'm getting into the things now that I don't really know anything about the market, that's associated with these things that I now have to try to auction off on eBay. And in one case, we sent them to a friend of mine who is an expert on these certain things. And, I'm letting him deal with the, auctioning and selling these things. But these other things, I don't know. I just have to play it by ear. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess by the time this is over with, I'll understand eBay probably better than I do podcasting, which is fine. Maybe I'll do an eBay-related podcast. Who knows? But other than that, I'm feeling okay. With the blood pressure coming back down, I don't feel as bad. It's like I said, it's not as good, and it doesn't work as quickly as the other medicines. So I'm not feeling 100% yet, but I do feel a lot better than I did, say, back on last Thursday and Friday. So it's a very positive thing, and I'm glad for it. And still doing what I can to eat right and avoiding things like sugars and sodiums. And for the most part, I mean, you can't really avoid it entirely, but I'm pretty sure I'm maintaining a healthy diet currently. I haven't had a calzone, which is sad. Calzones are, I'm pretty sure, it's completely heart healthy. And, everybody should have them. Maybe I'll have one as a celebratory thing one of these days. But still trying to avoid all that stuff. But I'm doing okay. And hopefully this week will go well, and the blood pressure medicine will get farther into my system and help regulate that. But when I check my blood pressure during the day, it's obvious that it's working because my blood pressure hadn't been down in a normal range in 3 or 4 weeks. So it feels a lot better when it's not doing that. I sleep better too and all that. So it's all good. But the rehab, one of the rehab women, the nurse, she was talking to me about checking my blood pressure, and I was like, I check my blood pressure 8 or 10 times a day. And she's, why are you doing it? And I was like, I don't know. I got obsessed with keeping track of my blood pressure. And she was like, well, you really only need to check it like twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. And I'm like, yeah, but I like to know what it is all the time. So she's figured out that I'm weird and that I have weird obsessions. But really, I was just trying to catch the arrhythmia I was trying to document the arrhythmia. So every time I felt like my heart was doing something a little bit weird, I would, go put the cuff on and try to catch it to see if it was going to catch the arrhythmia in my heartbeat. But I was only able to catch it a couple of times. So since then, and this is another thing, I don't know if it could be related because the arrhythmia hasn't been hitting me for the last, week and a half. And it slowly, took up shorter spans of time, where it would only be like 10 seconds, I would be able to notice it. And by the time I got the blood pressure cuff on, it would be gone. It would go away. So and those times just kept getting shorter and shorter. And then, for the last week, I haven't felt it at all. I don't think it's happened at all. And I don't know if it could be related to the medicines. Maybe that was triggering it. But I know that I had that issue before on occasion, but it's not something that's always happening. So I don't know. I don't even know if the heart monitor wearing it for 2 weeks is going to catch it. It may not. And then they'll say, oh, you're perfectly fine. You're no arrhythmia. You're good. And, that's going to be bad because arrhythmias are bad for you. But I don't know why it was hitting me really hard at first after the heart attack and after the treatments. And then after I came home, and it was hitting for long periods of time and fairly often. But I don't know why it hasn't been for the last couple of weeks. I don't know. So it may be another thing where it doesn't happen again for 6 months, and then, it's never going to get caught by the actual cardiologist or his staff. And then, nobody will believe that I have it going on. They'll think I'm faking it. That's my fear anyway. I'm always like, they're just not going to believe me that this is happening. And because I'm sure people self-diagnose all the time. And I'm one of those people, but I try to be smart about it. But that's it. I'll come back and we'll do this again tomorrow or the next day. And keep going. But so far I'm just starting the week off. First day back at work this week. So just hoping that it's going to be a good week. So I hope you have a good week. And I hope you take care of yourself. Eat right. Exercise. Love your family. Do all that stuff. But until we talk again, I guess I'm out of here. And thanks for stopping by. Tell your friends to stop by and say hello and check out the podcast. We're over 30 episodes now. It's like big time. I think I have 12 followers, something like that. Anyway, ciao.